Hi everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to go on a really cool journey, a journey inside what you could call a living machine. We're going to tackle a huge question, and we'll use this chapter on life processes to guide us. The question is, what does it really mean to be alive?
So let's think about it. How can you tell the difference between something that's alive and, well, something that's not? You'd think it's pretty obvious, wouldn't you? I mean, you see a dog running around or someone shouting, and you just know, yep, they're alive. It's like we're hardwired to think that life equals movement. But here's the thing. That simple idea doesn't really work when you look closer. I mean, what about a dog that's fast asleep? It's not moving, but it's 100% alive. Or think about a plant. It's not running anywhere, but we all know it's a living thing. So you see, just saying if it moves, it's alive doesn't cut it. It's not the whole story. So, what is the secret then? Well, the real signature of life, it's something completely invisible to our eyes. It's this constant, never-ending dance of molecules happening deep inside every single living organism. That non-stop internal movement, that is the real difference between alive and not alive.
Okay, but why is all this molecular movement so important? Think of it like this. Living things are these super organized, intricate structures, but everything in the environment is constantly trying to break them down, to create chaos. So to fight back and just, stay alive, organisms have to do constant repair work. And all these essential maintenance jobs, this 24/7 repair crew, are what scientists call life processes.
Now, all that constant maintenance and repair, it takes a lot of energy, right? So where does that energy come from? Let's start our tour of this amazing living machine at the first stop, which has to be the fueling station. This is all about nutrition, how living things get their power.
When it comes to getting fuel, life basically has two main game plans. First, you've got the autotrophs, which literally means self-feeders. Think of plants. They're like the master chefs of the world, whipping up their own food from just sunlight, water, and air. Then there's the rest of us, the heterotrophs. That's us, animals, fungi. We can't make our own food, so we have to get our energy by, eating others.
So since we're heterotrophs, let's look at how our bodies handle the food we eat. It all goes down in what's called the human alimentary canal. It's basically one long, clever tube that starts at the mouth and ends at the anus. You can think of it as our body's own personal food processing plant, where all the incredible work of digestion takes place. And it's not a random process at all. It's super systematic. First stop, the mouth. Your saliva immediately starts breaking down starches. Then, the food hits the stomach, where strong acid and enzymes get to work on the proteins. But the real magic, the main event, happens in the small intestine. This is where a whole cocktail of amazing biological helpers called enzymes just dismantles everything, carbs, fats, proteins, into tiny, simple molecules our body can finally absorb and use for energy. All right, so let's move on to the next department in our living machine. We've got the fuel now, right? Those simple little glucose molecules. But how do we actually convert that fuel into energy that our body can use? Well, that's the job of the power plant, a process called respiration. Our cells have a couple of ways to burn this fuel. There's anaerobic respiration, which doesn't need oxygen. It's good for a quick, small burst of energy. But the main event, the real powerhouse, is aerobic respiration. This one uses oxygen to squeeze every last drop of energy out of the glucose. It's like the super efficient engine that keeps our entire body running day in and day out. Okay, quick recap. We've got fuel from our food, we've turned it into energy. But now we have a huge logistics problem. How do we get all this good stuff, the nutrients, the oxygen, to trillions of tiny cells all over our body? I mean, a cell in your toe is a very, very long way from your lungs and your stomach.
And this isn't a small problem, it's massive. If we just relied on a process called diffusion, where molecules just kind of spread out on their own, well, it would be a complete disaster. Get this, the source material says it would take about 3 years for one oxygen molecule to travel from your lungs to your toes. Can you imagine? 3 years! We obviously needed a much, much faster way.
And the solution our bodies came up with is just brilliant. The circulatory system. It's like a massive, high-speed superhighway. Blood is the delivery truck, our veins and arteries are the roads, and right in the middle of it all is an incredible pump that keeps the traffic moving 24/7. And here it is, that amazing pump, the human heart.
This thing is an absolute workhorse. It takes in oxygen-rich blood from the lungs, powerfully pumps it out to the rest of the body, and then takes the deoxygenated blood back in, only to send it straight back to the lungs for a refill. It's a perfect, continuous loop.
This brilliant design is called double circulation, and it's called that for a simple reason. For every one trip around the body, the blood actually passes through the heart twice. And why is this so clever? Because it keeps the oxygen-rich blood totally separate from the oxygen-poor blood. It is a super efficient system that makes sure our body gets the maximum oxygen possible, which means more energy for us.
Okay, we're almost at the end of our tour inside the living machine. But there is one last, absolutely crucial department we have to visit: the waste management team. This is the cleanup crew, and the process they handle is called excretion. Think about it. Every single thing we've talked about, getting energy, using energy, it all creates byproducts. It creates waste. And if all that metabolic junk, especially the nitrogenous stuff, was just left lying around inside our bodies, it would become poisonous. It would literally shut down the entire machine.
So, who are the heroes of this cleanup operation? The kidneys. They are these amazing, super sophisticated filters. Each one has millions of tiny little filtering units called nephrons, and their job is to clean our blood. But they're not just simple filters, they're smart. They pull out all the bad stuff to make urine, but they also know to grab useful things like glucose and water and send them back into the body. Nothing useful gets wasted.
So let's just zoom out for a second. We visited the fueling station, the power plant, the delivery superhighway, and the waste management team. After seeing all these separate parts, what's the big picture here? What does it all add up to?
What we've seen is that being alive isn't just about one thing. It's about all these essential jobs working together in perfect coordination. You need nutrition to bring in the fuel. You need respiration to turn that fuel into power. You need transportation to deliver that power everywhere. And you need excretion to get rid of the waste. They all depend on each other.
It really is like a symphony. It's not just a bunch of random instruments playing whatever they want. Every single process relies on the others. You can't have one without the rest. Everything has to work together in perfect harmony, or the whole machine just stops. And that brings us all the way back to the very first question we asked. If being alive is all about this constant, invisible dance of molecules, this non-stop maintenance work, what does that mean for those moments when we're not moving at all, when we're just sleeping or sitting quietly? It means that even in our stillest moments, that incredible, complex, beautiful symphony of life is playing on inside of you, right now and every single second.